Hi, happy Vlogmas Day 16. I actually have Miss Kayla in my ear right now. So if I say something completely unrelated to the video, that's why I'm talking to her. Today we're going to talk about my 10 least favorite books of the year. I was supposed to do this video yesterday, but I was not in a good headspace yesterday. But I slept. I was tired like a little baby. So I slept and I feel a lot better now. So I'm ready to talk about this. I do feel like this is a kind of mean video. So I'm going to try to make it as lighthearted as possible. I'm going to read you the synopses for all of the books, and I'm going to try not to make it too repetitive from the, because I did mention I was planning on doing the best and worst of each month video. That's going to be later towards the end of the year. I'm going to try not to make it too repetitive with that video because a few of the books are the same. I think only 5 are the same. And again, I don't know what December's worst book is going to be yet. So hopefully it's not too repetitive and they're kind of far enough apart that it doesn't bother anybody. But let's get started. There she is. Oh. Okay. I swear I'm not just looking at her this whole time. I have all the synopses on my iPad. So we are going to start off with, I think it was the, okay, sorry, she's distracting me. We're going to start off with one of the first books that I read in 2025, and it is The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie by Frida McFadden. I could not remember this title if you paid me to. I can never get it right. This book was really not for me, and I'm sorry, I feel like I'm yelling, so I just exposed one of my ears. This book really wasn't for me. I fear that nothing I've read by Frida has been for me so far, but this is a satirical novella, and I mean no laugh. Not a single laugh. So, the synopsis is, my husband is dead. I attended his funeral. I watched his casket be lowered 6 feet into the ground. Actually, it may have only been 5 feet, but that still seems like more than enough. Like, I feel like that's supposed to be funny, and it's just not. To me, at least. And then we ate an array of finger sandwiches, deviled eggs, and miniature beef Wellingtons that cost more than my first car. My point is, Grant is gone. And so are all his many, many deep, dark secrets, which I never really even bothered to ask him about. He is never coming back. So why do I still see his face everywhere I go? And then it goes on to say, The Widow's Husband's Secret Lie is an utterly addictive, unputdownable, nail-biting, absolutely gripping psychological thriller novella with a shocking, breathtaking, heart-stopping, spine-chilling twist that you won't see coming. Will leave you stunned and will literally have you picking your jaw up off the floor and bringing it to the nearest hospital for major facial reconstructive surgery. I think I clocked out after I read My Husband is Dead. Anyway, this book just felt like she was just saying things to say them. So I fear it really wasn't for me. But I have read a handful of Frida's books. Kayla loves Frida. Alyssa doesn't. And it makes her kind of sad. But I don't know if I'm talking about Kayla or myself in that instance. But anyway, that's book number 1. Book number 2 is The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia. This cover I think is beautiful. So I was really excited about this. I know it's like supposed to be dark and grungy. I didn't care. And I'm really surprised this is on my finish list and not my DNFs list, because I remember having to drag myself through the end of it. Have you ever wondered how long it would take for a lethal dose of arsenic to kill you? 35 hours, 29 minutes, and 15 seconds. I should know. I counted myself. Amidst the gaslit alleys and cobblestone streets of Victorian London, 2 killers find themselves entangled in a waltz they cannot escape. Alina Liss, a botanist and hobbyist poisoner, has a pastime of killing unsavory men in her twisted sense of poetic justice. When she targets the conceited playboy Silas Forbes, only to find him in her apothecary the following week, she discovers human men are the least of her problems. The pair's unlikely association sparks gossip among affluent society. As their mysterious bond deepens and a chilling truth emerges, concealed identities, lurking foes, and questions as plentiful as the Hydra's head brew within this haunting gothic tale of violent passion. Will Silas and Alina find themselves in each other's arms, or will the shadows of their past keep them apart? I don't know. I don't remember what happened. All I know is that I I think spice was an issue for me in this book. I think I was like, okay, why are we doing this? I'm confused. I could be completely wrong, but then I found out that I thought this was a standalone, and I found out there was another book, and I was like, pass, I'm good. Nothing that I say in this video is by any means any kind of meant as any kind of deterrent for you to not read the book. Read any book you want, please. I just know that I didn't enjoy them, and I'm just sharing my personal experiences. I really feel silly having to make that disclaimer, but I know that I have to. Okay, this one was disappointing for me. Not Safe for Work by Nisha J. Tooley. I have not read anything else by this author, but I remember seeing this cover and falling in love with it. And now I can't say falling in love without thinking about the TikTok sound. There was nothing. Okay, I'll read the synopsis and then we'll talk about it. Rival engineers dabble in personal chemistry while at a tropical company retreat in this smart and zippy rom-com. Engineer Trishara Malik, once dreamed of being the first woman of color to smash the glass ceiling at WMC Purcell. But after years of dealing with white male privilege and blatant nepotism, she watches her hard-earned promotion go to her nemesis, Rafe, or Rafe. I think it was Rafe. Rafe Gallagher, the boss's son. Teetering on the edge of burnout, Trish is stunned when she's picked to attend WMC's corporate leadership retreat in Hawaii. It's a chance to revive her stalled career and compete for a coveted spot in the executive training program, plus 3 weeks in paradise. The only downside? Rafe is her co-attendee. Trish plans to avoid Rafe entirely, but when she arrives in Maui, a booking error has them stuck sharing the honeymoon suite. Did that just stop? Sorry, I thought my video stopped, but we're good. Sure, it's not all torture. Rafe is a smoldering 10, okay fine an 11, but after years of competition, they can barely stand being in the same time zone. As they vie against each other during aptitude tests and team building exercises, Trish begins to realize Rafe may not be the villain after all. With her dreams at stake, can she learn to trust the man who might have been standing in her corner all along? I didn't feel any of the chemistry in this book. I did not buy into the romance, and that is one of my biggest pet peeves. I'm sure I've written it in some of these reviews, specifically on Goodreads. I did not buy into the romance. I didn't feel the romance. I didn't, it wasn't believable to me. But this is one of those instances. I just didn't really care for any of the characters. I didn't care about the romance at all. I fear I just did not care. Okay, next we have Silver Fox by Kayla Gross. I think Kayla Gross is a hit or miss author for me. Silver Fox is a standalone dad's best friend age gap novella with a plus-size female main character, guaranteed to bring you all the spice. Elijah Astor is my dream man, smart, funny, loyal, and devilishly handsome. So what's the catch? My dad is his boss. And did I mention he's also his best friend? Yep, just my luck. But when he unexpectedly and accidentally crashes a relaxing weekend at my parents' lake house, I can't ignore the sparks between us. So I make him an offer. 1 weekend of no strings attached fun. 1 weekend where we will play house, enjoy each other, and pretend that my dad wouldn't completely freak out if he knew we were together. But when our fantasy weekend ends, will we be able to let each other go, or will my heart be stolen by this silver fox? So I know the whole point of an age gap, we're just going to say an age gap novella, is spice. However, it felt way too insta-lusty, insta-lovey for me, and I was not into it. I vividly remember the whole you're not supposed to be here. No, you're not supposed to be here. Oh my god, it's so convenient. And I know that's a common trope, I guess, but I just didn't care. I think maybe if there was a longer, if it wasn't just a weekend, and if it was a longer build up and stuff, and I saw her start to develop these feelings and everything, instead of just being like, oh my god, he's so hot, he's my dream man, whatever. This is the perfect opportunity for me to jump his bones. I think I would have been more invested if I had the time to realize these feelings with her. I could be wrong, but I think that would have helped. Next we have My Sister's Daughter by Liv Constantine. Kayla and I actually listened to this together. Everything is about Kayla. This is one of the thrillers that I read that I had a theory, and my theory was... She's smiling at me, she's so cute. I had a theory, and my theory was dead wrong. Could not have been more wrong. Anyway. No, this isn't that. What is this? No, it is. Okay. I think this is the one I had the theory about. Okay, anyway. After taking in her estranged niece, A woman fears for her family's lives in a domestic thriller by Reese's book club pick author of The Last Mrs. Parrish, which I have not read. Things have been different since Serena came to stay. Ashley Bowers is shocked by the sudden death of her sister, whom she hasn't seen or heard from in years. Grieving for the bond they once shared and wallowing in the knowledge that any chance of reconciliation is gone forever is one thing. Welcoming her sister's 13-year-old daughter, a girl Ashley has never even met, into the home she shares with her husband and 2 children is another. Ashley hopes Serena will blend in seamlessly with her family and their peaceful life in Maryland once they have both had a chance to process their loss. But as days become weeks, personalities clash, and troubling incidents turn the Bowers residence into a whirlwind of accusation, denial, and fear. It starts missing items, the dog inexplicably locked outside all night, but when the safety of her own children is threatened, Ashley starts to wonder if the tragedies in Serena's past are unfortunate coincidences or something more sinister. Is Ashley's orphaned niece simply acting out after the tragic passing of both of her parents, or is something far more dangerous going on under her own roof? Dark secrets and unexpected twists will keep you guessing until the very end in My Sister's Daughter, a captivating thriller that undoes puzzles of the past from New York Times bestselling author Liv Constantine. So, I can't say that this was a bad book. I think this was just one of my lower rated books. This wasn't a bad book. I do remember enjoying it. Like, I just wanted to keep listening and figure out what was going on. But it was one of my lower rated books of the year. So that's why it's on this list. But I'm not mad that I read it. I think thrillers just make me upset when I have no chance of figuring it out. Like when the whole big reveal or whatever comes way out of left field. And there were no hints or anything. Lucinda Berry doesn't do that to me. Me and her are on the same page. But anyway, I think it's just a matter of having authors that you click with and authors that you don't. But again, that was my first book by Liv Constantine, so I could click with her, maybe not that book, I don't know. Speaking of authors that I usually click with and I did not with one of their books, this next one is by Lynn Painter, which hurts me to say. But I don't remember a single thing about it, and that's not a good sign. So the next one is Made for Each Other by Lynn Painter. A millionaire and a house cleaner are a match made in heaven in this sparkling new romantic comedy by Lynn Painter, #1 New York Times bestselling author of Happily Never After. As a professional cleaner, Abby Mariano never thought her apartment would have any sort of infestation, but because of a building-wide outbreak, she now needs to stay somewhere for a week. As a part-time student with 2 jobs, she doesn't have many options. Then the solution presents itself. The owner of the penthouse she cleans is out of town for a week. She normally wouldn't consider it, but he's literally never around. She hasn't even met him. It goes great until one morning she finds 2 strangers in the kitchen. They're the parents of the penthouse owner, and they seem to think that they've heard all about Abby, not as their son's maid, but as his girlfriend. Declan Powell has always put his career first, working his way up to become an executive at his company, but he still has his sights set on the next level. When his parents mention that they met his girlfriend Abby, he all but chokes on his escargot. As wonderful as it sounds that she was just darling, he doesn't actually have a girlfriend. He made her up to get everyone off his back. When Dex finds out who Abby really is, he makes her a proposition, pretend to date him, and help provide everything she needs during their little arrangement. What harm would it do? It's purely business, no pleasure, right? I don't remember what it was about this book, but something about it rubbed me the wrong way. I did not like it. I don't know if it was an unlikable character or both characters being unlikable or just the concept that didn't click with me, but this is the only Lynn Painter book that I've read that I've had an issue with. Okay. Here is an author that's on this list twice. June 1st by Jennifer Hartman. I'm sorry, she's not on this list twice. She's also on the best and worst books, but on the worst side. So, my issue, I'm gonna read it first. Okay. From the author of Still Beating comes another standalone forbidden romance, turning something broken into something beautiful. Want to know what happens to a man who barely claws his way out of a tragedy only to fall right into the arms of the one girl in the world he isn't allowed to love? Another tragedy, that's what. When Brant was 6 years old, his father made a choice that altered the course of his entire life. Because of what he did, the only girl Brant ever loved became the only girl he couldn't have. Though in a lot of ways, he did have her. He had her first steps, her first words, her first smile. He had her milestones, her heartbreaks, her dreams. He had her heart so woven in with his, he didn't know where she ended and he began. Only as the years pressed on, lines became blurred, and the blurrier the line, the easier it is to cross. They say tragedy comes in threes. For Brant, that was true. The first one changed him, the second one broke him, and the third one healed him. But at the center of all that tragedy, there is a love story. And at the center of that love story, there is June. Beautiful description. Beautiful synopsis. The whole, he doesn't know where he ends and she begins. I love that. That's like one of my favorite lines. I don't vibe with Jennifer Hartman. I really love the tragic side, like the tragic writing that she does, but the healing and happier writing doesn't make me happy and healed. It was the issue with Still Beating, it was the issue with this book, and it was the issue with the other book that's I'm not gonna mention because it's a spoiler for that other video. But 3 tries now I've given her, and I'm not sure if I'm going to be giving her another one. But that's just a preference thing for me, I guess. Next we have Rewrite Our Story by Kat Singleton. Cade Jennings was always there for me when I needed him, until he wasn't. I'd spent my entire life loving my best friend's older brother. Every single one of my birthday wishes was spent hoping Cade would finally notice me, and then one day he did. But not all love stories have happy endings. It's been years since I left the small town of Sutton Mountain, devastated and heartbroken. I'd used the pain to fuel a best-selling novel that solidified I'd never have to return, until tragedy struck, forcing me to face a man who shattered my heart. I thought I'd be strong enough to see him again. I didn't expect the angry, broken man staring back at me, but the more time we spend around each other, the more I see glimpses of the man I fell in love with. His touch still owns me, his kiss still brands me. Even after all this time, the feelings I have for him still consume me. Cade and I are unfinished business, and this time he's not letting me leave until we reread our story. This was my first Kat Singleton, and I have a bunch of other books on my TBR that are by her. And I'm going to keep them on there. I'm going to let them, have their own moment. This one was not for me. And this was on my TBR for a really long time. So that makes me kind of sad. Again, I don't really remember what it was about this. Next we have another hit or miss author. Love and Other Killers by Brynn Weaver. I liked Butcher and I liked Butcher and Blackbird. I DNF'd Leather and Lark. Scythe and Sparrow was alright. And I didn't like Love and Other Killers. So we're really kind of like a less than a 50-50 split here. Serial Killers versus Serial Killer in a hot and twisted novella about family games, true love, and competitive carnage. It's the annual hunt for Sloane and her vigilante family of serial killers. Track the most cold-blooded psychos imaginable and take them down. This summer's prey is Alan Munster, a church-going chicken farmer who slaughters more than fowl. The rules of the hunt: divide into teams, devise a strategy, and make a move. The more cutthroat, the better. May the best team win. The players are closing in. All eyes are on Munster, but there's a hitch in the family sport this year. Someone might be watching them. I don't remember a single thing about this, to be honest with you. Not a single thing. I think I might have blocked it from my memory completely. Anywho, moving on. Okay, this one's a novella from the Scared Sexy Amazon series. My Boyfriends Are All Monsters by Kimberly Lemming. This is my first Kimberly Lemming book. Novella, whatever. This is the only book in the Scared Sexy series that I didn't rate, because I said, yeah, no, I'm not rating this. Tossing a coin in a mysterious well seems like a harmless way to cope with being ditched on a mountain until every impossibly hot man in town starts competing for one woman's attention in this steamy short story. Blah, 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 blah. Lucy Sawyer's wish for true love lands her in an enchanted town where the men are supernatural, the chemistry is off the charts, and everyone wants to date her. But they say that things that seem too good to be true usually are, and soon Lucy may need to decide if she's willing to pay the cost of her happily ever after. Kimberly Lemming's My Boyfriends Are All Monsters is part of Scared Sexy, a deliciously dark collection of Halloween romance where things that go bump in the night might just steal your heart. Yeah. So I screenshotted the synopses from Goodreads, and my review is right here. I'm sorry, I won't be rating this one. It was not for me. Anyway, moving on. Oh, was that the last one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was all 10! That was quick. I did wind up screenshotting 11, but I'm not going to show the last one because it's another repeat from my best and worst video. I wasn't sure if I was going to count the novella or not. But anyway, that was 10 of the... I don't like saying the word worst. It feels really mean. Those were 10 of my least favorite books from this year. And that's it. So thank you for watching Vlogmas Day 16. I don't even know what day it is anymore. Thank you for watching Vlogmas Day 16. I will see you tomorrow for 17.